So the Barbarians have snuck a result over the Pumas, 38 points to 35 at Twickenham. It's another loss for the Pumas this November, and somebody called in the comments this team a instead of a Barbarians team, it's kind of a Bar Box team because there was a lot of Springboks in that team. I thought that was kind of appropriate. So Rassie and his Bar Box, another feel-good win for them. A good way to sign off, no, November, start of December, for a bunch of guys who have played a fair bit of rugby. Started off with a real Barbarians feel with Leguizamon getting the first try. I mean, 10 tries in the game. As far as the Barbarians game goes, it's kind of par for the course, so it didn't disappoint in that regard. And that first try was after about a minute. It was just full of offloads, and it was a bit of magic. So, great little try there from the Barbars. They worked on their celebration as well. They got Leguizamon to do a little bit of 10-pin bowling. So, celebrations are also having a bit of fun. That's kind of what the Barbars are there for. But it didn't take long for Argentina to kind of come into the game, and they're, I guess, despite the fact that not being a full-strength Pumas team, the fact that these guys know each other well kind of started, they started to get a bit of cohesion. Orlando had a nice little step from Pollard's. It came from Pollard's chip kick from his own kind of end goal. He decided to do a little Barbar-style chip kick, and they paid the price for it because the Argentinians got the ball and went and scored. And then Mojano got another try from Bonilla. Apparently in the Buenos Aires accent, Bonilla is the pronunciation, not Bonilla. Let me know how that's going. I definitely need to work on it. I'm going with Bonilla. If it's terrible, tell me. Bonilla put a little kick through, perfectly weighted. Mojano was there, and nobody was near him. It is the easiest chase through for a kick that he will ever score. I don't know if it was... Commentators blamed Debrasini for being out of position for the Barbars, but he just went through, not a hand on him, nobody even near him. So 14-0 to the Pumas. Matera got his try. Again, Debrasini putting a little grubber kick through. I mean, I know the Barbars are there to play, but that was just dumb. A little grubber kick through when kind of 5 meters out from his own line, or at least within his own 22. Pumas get the ball. Matera goes in for a try. So it's 21-7 at that point. And then when Cancellieri went in after 23 minutes, this time it was Mojano who provided the little grubber kick. He ran a sweet line. Mojano just has this talent of just picking the absolute perfect line to run that keeps him away from defenders. His pace keeps him away. His line, it's just a thing of beauty to watch. And then when the sea of defenders kind of closed in around him, he put through a beautiful little kick. Cancellieri went in. Not as lucky as Mojano with his try, in that Diente did kind of see him into the turf, and he was a bit sore after he got up. But Bonilla was kicking all the goals, and at that point, 28-7. But right before halftime, the Barbars did get a penalty try. They had a rolling maul going, and they couldn't see the grounding, but Matera was deemed to have collapsed it. So it went in 28 points to 14 at halftime. Second half, Barbars tried the maul again, and it paid off. So that was an area where they were getting some serious pay, and the Pumas were struggling a bit. It was 28-21. But then, not to be outdone, the Pumas decided a maul of their own from a little line-out play. So Montoya got a try from a maul to 35-21. And at that point, it's looking like the Pumas should be able to see things out. But it weren't to be done, the Barbars. De Allende got his try from a scrum tight head, and he was a bit... Like, this game, to be fair, it may be partially because there were so many Boks in that team that it kind of felt more like a proper test than a Barbars game at times. Obviously, like I said, some of those crazy plays that were going on made it clear that it wasn't a test, but... yeah, the feelings were more heated than I've seen in a lot of other Barbarians games. And the Allende try was the one of the main moments with that. I mean, he went in for his try. Kind of, he was just short, rolled over, and as he was forcing the ball, Cancellieri tried to put his foot down, I guess, to either block the line off or to get him to force the ball on his shoe. But all he ended up doing was standing on De Lender's hand, and he was pissed off about that. He got up into Cancellieri's face, but they made up. Cancellieri apologised, so it was kind of nothing doing. No yellow cards, but yeah, there were definitely some feelings in this one. So that put the Boks right back in it, 28-35. And then Diyaka got his try from Creel's break. So many South African names I'm mentioning here for a good reason, man. Creel had a good little line break. I think it was 2 passes and then to Diyaka. And he was in, tied the score up 35-all. Game winner was down to Elton Yankees, popping over a droppy in about, what was it, the 78th minute. And as I said, Moyano's try, where he was untouched for the score. Elton Yankees won't have many drop goals where he is absolutely just in the pocket. He's got miles of time. He could have taken another second or two. Nobody was near him. He didn't hit it that well, but he hit it well enough. Over. And that ended up being game. So kind of disappointing for the Pumas to be up 28-7 and to still manage to lose it. I know they didn't have a lot of their big guns playing, but again, a Barbars team is full of guys who don't really know each other that well. Perhaps this Barbars team knew each other a bit better than most, but yeah, at 28-7, they probably should have been able to close it out. Some of the forwards' efforts were a bit, I don't know, under the pump from what the Barbars were doing, and the penalty count. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find stats. ESPN Rugby Pass, they didn't list all the stats for this game, but one stat I did write down off the TV as I was watching is the final penalty count apparently was 17-4. 17 conceded by the Pumas to 4 to the Barbars. That's very costly, and some of them from like the 70th minute were just the Argentinians trying to secure the ball at the breakdown and just doing it wrong, getting penalised. So yeah, there was things to work on there. But I mean, as far as the game goes, it was still totally entertaining stuff. As I said, good hands from people. Khaleesi put a big try-saving hit on Cancellieri, which was interesting. Leguizamon went off early, so not sure got on, which was a pity, but at least he got his try early. Brits did a grubber kick, which was a thing of beauty. I mean, we saw one of the All Blacks do that the other day against Italy. But yeah, Brits has got that same skill set. Mojano got an intercept, which he looked like he might go far, but wasn't quite able to get it done. There were lots of things. Pollard at one point did like a kick pass where it went not even sideways, it actually went backwards. Like he could have just passed it with his hands. He passed it at that angle and just went into touch. It was pretty appalling. He threw that intercept pass as well. So, but I mean, I haven't got his numbers in front of me, but he didn't strike me as having a terrible game. They did move things around once Debrasini went off, so Yankees came on fairly early. But yeah, entertaining game. White Crockett goes out with a win. His last kind of professional game. I think he is still playing club rugby next year. The Pumas blew a try where they had an overlap just before half time. Creel kind of blew a try for the, I almost said Boks, the Barbars early on in the second half. Dianti, who's had a pretty quiet November, had a really beautiful little run where he took a high ball, which is an area he needs to work on. Once he secured that high ball, he went on a blistering run. So there were plenty of moments in this game that were entertaining. Augustine Crevi had that the boss feeling about him when he came on, because the Pumas played a fair few young guys in this game, perhaps guys who were either uncapped or have only had a handful of caps. And when there was a bit of niggle, Crevi stepped in and was like, no, if you want to mess with anyone, you come talk to me. He was putting the foot down. So yeah, there was feeling in this still kind of friendly game. I feel sorry for Peter Steph Dutour. He's probably a guy who could have used a break. Honestly, the guy's played so much rugby this year, and I'm sure his nose is absolutely shattered, because his nose, and was it Matera's head just went, and his nose came off worse for wear. It was at a real crooked angle for a minute, and they kind of straightened it up, and it was blood everywhere. Now, he didn't need this game, man. He could have just been back in South Africa, you know, having a barbecue or braai or whatever, and relaxing. But nah, he's in England getting a broken nose. So yeah, overall, pretty good game. I mean, the Barbars paid the price for some expansive play, but it also paid off for them at times. Pumas, as I said, probably could have done better with that lead, but also nice to get some guys who don't usually get a game to have a wee run. And most of the other guys seem to still be there, like in the row in front of Ledesma in the coaching box. You could see like Dalgi was there, and somebody else I recognise was there. So those guys all seem to be kind of hanging about, which is cool that they're still there as a team, kind of doing their thing. Hopefully they're not sick of each other after spending so much of this year together with the Jaguares and the Pumas. But yeah, 38-35 to the Barbars. Entertaining game. Some very cool moments in it. Some good tries. Yankees kicking the ball dead where it kind of clipped the corner flag. Yeah, guys getting each other's faces, broken noses. Very, very cool stuff. But yeah, if you guys saw the game, let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think this is actually as bad for Argentina as I think it was? Like at the end of the game, when you saw the final whistle, the Barbars guys were all over each other and like celebrating like mad. The Pumas guys were all standing separately and just looked like heartbroken, shot, like they'd lost a final or a quarterfinal or something like that. Just couldn't even come together initially. So they seemed genuinely like properly disappointed to have lost that game. So not ideal, but I guess 2019 is another year. We'll see how they can kind of pick things up. I still got faith that Ledesma can move them along. Likewise, Rassi with the box, or the bar box. Yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.